Hello guys, welcome back to the Beastie Room. Now, someone asked the other day in the comments, when are we going to have an unboxing video? And do you know what? It got me thinking, and I don't think we've actually done an unboxing video for, must be 2.5 years, maybe even 3 years.
I remember the Caledonia.
Well, we haven't done one for such a long time. I never thought they were particularly popular, so I've never been that keen on sort of getting them done. But it made me think about it, and also as well, I think it would be a good idea to actually have a chat about posting out our spiders and how we should do it properly, or how I do it anyway. And I find it to be successful. So we will cover that as well. So what we've got a couple, we've got 2 different deliveries here from 2 different places. So we are going to we're not going to muck around now. We are going to go straight in.
They didn't come from the same place.
No, they've come from 2 different places. Don't be getting smart with me. It's been a long day. I tell you now, it's been a long day. It's been very busy actually at work. We are flat out. So yes, we have 2 different senders, 2 different places, and we are going to have a look and see what we got. Now, one of them is slings that we've purchased, and one of them is adult stock. So as you can see, we have not opened these up at all. So however they come out, this is exactly how they've been done. So if you're the person that sent these, I hope you sent them well. Right. Oh, here we go. Look.
We're going to start with the box.
We are going to start with the slings because that's the one that's opened up.
But you're going to say the box how it's got live invert and fragile all over it.
Yes, yes. When we send our stuff, we need to send it. She is such trouble at the moment, I can tell you. Get away. You'll make everyone seasick again. Right. So, we have them in a box. Got our peanuts in there. Everyone knows how we do this, really. So the packing peanuts are the most important thing. This time of year we don't need any heat packs. Whatever you do, even if you think it's a little bit on the chilly side, do not put a heat pack in this time of year. You will cook your spiders. It is a very bad idea. Bearing in mind, we don't actually use heat packs until we drop down below about 4 degrees. 4 or 5 degrees. Anything above that, our spiders can deal with it for a short amount of time that they're in the post. So very, very important.
So they all get sent next day, right? And
they all go next day, yeah. It's important as well that we do next day special delivery. So any of you guys that have never sent stuff out, this is really what this is going to be for you guys, really. So what we want is a decent, strong cardboard box, packing peanuts. And then for these particular ones, our slings have been individually potted up. Now, when you're buying slings in numbers, as we have done here, we've got 10 of each here. It's very, very important, especially at this size, that these are about 2 to 3 centimeters. These slings. It's very important that they are packed individually. If, as we have seen in the past, people get a little bit lazy and they throw the whole lot into one pot because they're like, well, they're all brothers and sisters. You know, it doesn't work like that. When we open up our tub, 9 times out of 10, the vast majority of them have perished. And that's because they get in there and they run around and they eat each other. So always make sure you do them singly like this. Urge on the side of caution and do them singly. So that the only time you will get away with having them all in the same pot is if you've got something like we have done it before with things like a minia, but you need to do it when they first come out of the sack. So when they first hatch and they're all running around together, they're used to each other. They're fine. And if you want to do a bulk load, which sometimes we do with the dealers and things like that, they will send out say 200 all in one pot, they'll be fine. It's because they've not started feeding or anything else, and they will be fine in that situation. The minute that you separate them and you start feeding them, you cannot put them all back and post them all out together. You cannot do it. You will have carnage, absolute carnage. So as we see in here, these have been done really, really well. These have been lovely. Now I'll open this one up, if I can open it. Right. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Now these are Formictopus green golds. Look at that. That's a lovely, lovely size spider. Very, very nice. Beautiful spider. I don't know if the camera is picking up the colours on that, but he's looking absolutely beautiful. And these have been done really nicely. So what we got here is we've got the tissue inside the pot, and then all we do is we just leave in a tiny little hole for that spider to sit in, and that will keep him safe. And the thing is, if you look into this pot now, we look in here, you'll notice it fills it up, and then what that would have been the hole like that inside, and that is all it requires for our spider. So if we get him back in, we should be able to see him. It'll make a good thing to see. Very, very pleased with these spiders. Very pretty. Well, he's quick as well. He's like, I don't want to go back in there. This might be a bit of fun. Let's see if we can't. Right. So as you can see, you might sit and think he's not got a lot of room in there.
That's the point, right?
But that is the point. That is the perfect scenario for that spider, because what you don't want, when he's in there, this box could get launched around the post office centre and probably drop kicked from one end to the other, and these spiders will be absolutely fine. They are fully protected. So what we want is enough tissue in there to stop our spider from rattling around. It's even more important when we get onto bigger spiders. If we're posting out adult spiders and things like that, they must be in a secure pot that they can't bounce about. They can't rattle around in there. It's very, very important. So what we're going to do with these, well, what we would normally do is we would pop these up now. So we're going to get a little bit of stuff now. Just a little bit of our normal potting stuff here. So this really is just to show you what we do when we have stuff coming in, really. So we get our sling pots and we stick a little bit of substrate in there, and then all I do is I normally just push it down a little bit, and we're looking at half filling our sling pot. Yeah, half filling it. We've got our lid. Make sure you've got air holes in your lids. Very important. So we're going to open this one up again. He's going to be like, what on earth is going on? Let's see if I can even get it home. This is the problem when you've got stubby fingers like mine.
You've got lovely fingers.
What? Excuse me. Right.
Concentrate.
Oh, dearie me, these pots. Oh, right. Do you know what it is? Look, it's a double lip, and I'm trying to get that lip off there. No wonder I'm struggling. Right. So then.
Here he goes.
There he goes. Look, he's a lovely spider. Can you see the colour?
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous.
We got him last time. Yeah.
Right, okay. Right. There we go. So that is him in there. Now, to be fair, this spider will probably need one more molt in there, and he will need to come out.
Yeah.
Because these are a little bit big for sling pots. I wasn't expecting them to be quite this size. I thought they'd be a tiny bit smaller. But so what we will have to do is we will sort out our some larger pots, and we'll put them in them, because these are such beautiful little spiders. Very, very nice.
Are they terrestrial or
yes, these are a terrestrial spider. So what we'll do is we will pop that one in there. and we will leave these here. The others are exactly the same. So you've seen now the best way to actually pop them for the post, and they have been done beautifully, really, really nice. So we're going to move them over there, and we're going.
The pots got put in the cricket pots.
Sorry?
The pots get put in the cricket pots, so it stops them bashing around as well.
Yes, yeah. By sticking them all inside a cricket box like that, that again secures them, stops them from. Look, you can shake that. Ain't gonna make any difference to them spiders. They're all in there, nice and tight. Absolutely perfect. That's exactly how we want to see our spiders being sent out. Right then, so here we've got another one now. So I'm not sure. I think there is a cardboard box inside this. So we are going to open this one up. Lots of packing. Lots of bubble wrap in this one. Right, here we go. Once we get in there, now this should be older spiders. These should be adult spiders in here.
Point out there, Dave, as well, that it's making use of all sorts of packaging. There isn't like special boxes.
No. We can package them up in any way we see fit, as long as they are protected. Which this one is. This is actually a box that is wrapped up again in bubble wrap.
And we recycle, don't we?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we use all of this again. This what I will do is take that off, because that will drive me absolutely mad. I'll get it off of there. So again, yes, this is completely covered in bubble wrap, which is nice. This is giving it extra protection. I'll throw that down there. Oh, we've made use of a cereal box. How about that? Right. Okay. So we are going to go into this one now. Let's see what we've got going on in here.
But it's not malt wheats.
It's not. No, I don't think it is. Ah, here we go. Now then, so our spiders are individually in their pots. There we go. That is a lovely secure pot. Absolutely perfect. That spider is not going to get damaged inside that pot. That is perfect. So when you first look, you first sort of think, it's in a cereal box. How are we going to do this? But each individual spider is labelled, which is another thing. When you've got adult spiders coming in, or juvie spiders, or whatever, no matter what they are, to be fair, slings, could be anything. It is always very nice if they're actually labelled and we know what they are. Unless you've actually only ordered one spider, then you know what you're getting.
We've had it not to get in there.
Yeah. So here we have another one. And what we're going to do, we're going to take these all out of the box. Another nice secure pot. Notice the lids are stuck down as well. Always make sure your lids are secure, because it has happened before where people have got their stuff and they're looking in their box wondering where their spider is, and it's actually loose in the box, which doesn't always go down very, very well. Right, that is everybody. So we've made use of another cardboard box. It really doesn't matter, to be fair, what your cardboard box is, as long as it does the job. It's there to protect, and then with all the bubble wrap and everything else that we've got in there, that protected them as well. So they've got their individual pots as well. So what we're going to do now is we are going to temporarily, they will go into here. So what we got, I've got 4 of them here. So what we will do is temporarily we will put them in here so we can check them out and make sure that everybody is fine and happy. We've got our lids. We've got our water. Now, one of the things with when you get new spiders, especially when they've come in through the post, is make sure they've got some fresh water, because quite often when they come through they're actually quite thirsty. So we're just going to fill each one up. Now, we're not going to put anything else in these boxes because we just want to see our spiders, and they can be perfectly happy sitting in here for 3-4 days, no problem at all. It's not going to affect them in any way. They're going to be perfectly happy as long as everything else in here. We keep our room at a nice temperature, so we don't have to worry about individually heating things. We can leave these on the shelf in these boxes and they will be absolutely perfect, no problems whatsoever. So what we got here, we got a Somani female here. Now, always be a little bit careful when you first open these up, because they might be a little bit jumpy, you know. But as again, it's exactly the same as what we saw with the slings. You see how this has all been packed out, and she is just in this little tiny pocket here. This is exactly what we want to be seeing. She is fully protected. You notice she cannot bounce around. She's in a tiny little space there.
She's in a cuddle.
Yeah, she is. And she is literally, that is the safest way for her to be going through the post. If we just put her, and believe you me, we did have one last year where we had, I think we had something like 20 spiders, all adults. They came in these pots with no tissue at all. And unfortunately we had casualties, we had burst abdomens, and it was an absolute mess. It was disgusting to see. And yeah, they should never have ever have been posted in that way. It was absolutely diabolical. So this is how you post them. This is what you want. Make sure that they've got that small pocket. So what we're going to do now, we are just going to give her a little tickle. Sometimes they can be a bit stubborn to leave because they've been sat in here for the last, well, 24 hours or more. Now, as you can see there, she's quite happy. She's all right. She'll be glad to stretch her legs, I'm sure.
She got a bald bum.
She's got a little bit of a bald bum, yeah, that's all right though. But her actual general health, she looks absolutely lovely. She is fine. She's going to be a nice little spider, that. So what we'll do, we'll put the lid on and put her to one side, and she will just be left quiet now. Let us settle in. So we've got another one here. Now this is a Bumba horrida in this one. So we will have a look at this. Now this one, these have all got snap shut lids, so which is why they've not got the actual tape on them. They're all snap shut. Now then, as you can see here, this one, you can just see its legs poking out. This is somehow, we do them like this. We make a little pocket in there, and then we'll put a piece on top, and that seals them in. So we're going to take this off. If you're doing this at home, just be careful with your fingers. Say some spiders can be a little bit defensive. Cool, this is a lovely big Bumba horrida, this one. So what we're going to do, you see how she fills that, look. And these have been put on top.
Point it to me a little bit more. That's it, perfect.
And what's happened is here, with the tissues on the top, they actually squeeze her down a little bit, and that stops her from rattling around. Absolutely perfect. That's been packaged lovely. So we're gonna, with this one, we're just gonna put the tub down. I'm gonna let her come walk out. She is a very, very big girl. Look at that. Very nice. Looks like she might be coming up for a molt.
I'd say.
Yeah, but again, a lovely spider and packaged perfectly. This is just how they want to be. Absolutely lovely. So again, and by keeping them bare like this, we can keep a real good close eye on them and see exactly what they're getting up to, which is the most important thing. It's important that we make sure we're totally happy with them before we do anything with them. So this is a Tarantulas vagans. Oh, she is actually molted in the pot.
What do we do?
Right, so this is an interesting one. Come and have a look at this. Right, so packaged again perfectly well, but she has actually molted in the pot.
It looks all a little bit crazy from this angle.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, because there wouldn't have been a whole lot of room for our big spider to molt out. I'm not quite sure
What possessed her?
how.
Can you show us in the pot now you've took the slough out?
I don't think. No, she has not made it. That's a shame. You see how she's molted, but she's actually burst her abdomen in the process.
It's really sad.
So that is really, really sad. She would have been a lovely, lovely big spider.
I'll just put a little warning at the start, maybe.
But unfortunately, yeah, there just wasn't enough room in there for her to molt out.
Do you want me to get any footage?
That is an absolute shame. Absolute shame. Now the
that couldn't necessarily have been helped, could it?
well, it depends on how far she looked like she was in pre-molt or not. So with some spiders, it's not always easy to see whether they're in pre-molt or not. So we have to be a bit sort of like a little bit careful. But unfortunately, this happens. Now, when we get slings that have molted in the pots in transit, it's not normally so much of an issue with a sling, because they're so small and they literally dry out real quick. So they harden up really, really fast. With an adult spider, it needs that room to be able to pump itself full again and get its legs. It looks like she was almost there, but she's literally just been at a funny angle. What we've got to remember is when they molt out, her new exoskeleton is very, very soft, and any kind of movement or anything in there can actually cause problems. This is when they are at their most vulnerable. So in the wild, if a spider's going to get predated on, it's more than likely going to happen when it's molting, because it cannot defend itself. It can't do anything. It's almost like an invalid. It's like a newborn child all over again. So with that's very, very unfortunate, but it does happen from time to time. Luckily, we don't see it very often. We really don't see it very often. But that is a little bit of a shame, that. So the only thing that could have changed that maybe would have helped was if it would have been recognised that it was in pre-molt, and then if it's that close to being molting, then we could have held off and posted later on. All depends on how close they are. You know, sometimes, especially with things like these, the brackies and stuff like that, some of them spiders can be in pre-molt for months at a time, and then they'll finally go over. So it's a grey area, really. It's one of them.
Can I ask just one question? And it's my curiosity of what actually triggers the spider to go into molt. So clearly, it didn't have the most appropriate environment to do it? Is it something that it can't resist doing?
Yeah, they get basically then once they get to that stage where it's what can we call it? It's like a mechanical condition, and once they actually start to molt, everything in that spider's system is telling it to molt. It's a bit the same like us, you know. When we do things, we don't always have full control of what we're doing. You know, it's like sleeping when you're really tired.
Breathing.
Yeah, breathing. We do it automatically because our system is telling us to do that. And with molting, it can be the same thing. And sometimes moving them over, putting them into different situations, temperature changes, things like this can often promote a molt. We do it sometimes with some of our spiders. If we want them to molt, if they've been hanging out for a long time, we can sometimes, we can up the humidity, and that doesn't help the molt, but what it can do, if we do that alongside heat, then we can often promote that spider into thinking the climatical changes are different and it will actually induce a molt. So there's different ways of doing it. So yeah, literally a complete change from that spider's normal living habitat to now being put in a box, change of temperature, all different bits and pieces like that. It may well have spurred it on. So yeah, it's a bit of a thing. Right, so let's try this one. This is a screw on. Now, this is a male Balfouri. No, sorry, not a male, a female Balfouri. As you can see, she is in there.
Give me a second to get in.
Again, nicely packaged. Stop them rattling around. See, it's a very interesting point actually. We've been making a big thing about actually making sure that our spider hasn't got a lot of room. We want our spider to be really quite snug in its box because that is the safest place for it. Yeah. Unfortunately, with our spider that molted, it worked the opposite because it had no room to be able to molt out properly and do its thing. So yeah, it's an unfortunate thing. Right, let's see if we can't coax this girl out. In she comes. It's always difficult doing them like this. Here she comes. Right. There we go. We go to the side of the box. Another lovely spider. There you go. She's in. Very pretty spider again. We'll just get her to walk down there like that. You see her?
Can't now.
There she is. Now we've been lucky with these because they've all been really calm. Nice and easy. Right, so what we'll do, we'll pop the lid on this one and then we'll show you how, move your toes, pop these, unfortunately not going to need that one anymore. Alright, move them up there, get them out of the way. Right then, so if I show you how we box up, because not everyone's like got tubs and bits and pieces kicking around, but quite often you will have your cricket tubs, and this is what I use for large spiders. I find these work really well. So I always hang on to my cricket tubs and use them.
They like multi-purpose, didn't they? We're doing for catch cards.
Oh yeah, we use these for so many different things, even for housing some spiders. You know, if we got young juvies that want a little bit of space, but whatever, we keep them in these. They really are really good. So what I do with these, to make these up, I use kitchen roll. Let me move these out of the way. Put these up here. They're nice and quiet. So I use kitchen roll to pack the boxes out. And I find with a cricket tub, I use 3 squares of kitchen roll.
Very precise.
Oh, very precise. You got to get this right. I use 3 squares of kitchen roll.
Yeah, but what kitchen roll? They might.
We don't care what. We don't care. Don't ask me what brand. We don't care. It's all the same. Kitchen roll's all the same. Just get a good quality one. None of this real thin stuff. Yeah. Get proper stuff. So we get 3 squares. We fold it in half. And then what I do is I literally get it so it's like in the middle, like that. And I just put it down like that. And I just squeeze it into the corners like so. Yeah, that gives a nice flat base. Then I get another square. And I cut that in half. And I put that in on top, like that. So this basically gives it a nice soft cushion underneath. And then if we've got a really large spider, I would take another square, and all I do is I just screw it up, but not a lot, just so it's like gently like that, and I put that in the end like that. I'll do the same on the other side. So I literally put it in like that, and you see that now that's left a pocket in the middle. Yeah?
Get your hands out.
So that leaves a pocket in the middle like that.
That's better.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So then what we do then is I allow this to come up like this. Now you notice one side is quite narrow and this side is quite big. So what I do with my squeezy bottle, this is the most important thing when you're posting spiders, and it's one of my pet hates. You do not need to soak this tissue. Please don't soak the tissue. You know, our spiders aren't aquatic. You know, they don't need all this moisture. And when it's warm, like this time of year, we're in July, it's warm, you know. You imagine if this box, it gets wrapped in bubble wrap, it then gets put in a box with peanuts and everything else. So all of this stuff is insulating that box as well. And then, Mr. Postie, he leaves it on the side in the sunshine, you know, while he's doing his rounds, maybe sitting on the dashboard in the van. And then these guys, if they are really, really wet or just too damp, they start to sweat because the box gets warm in the sunshine and then they start to sweat inside the box. Very, very bad. It's not a good thing. So what we do, that's all.
Why do we put water in at all?
Well, it's good to put a little bit in, but we want only the tiniest amount. We don't want a lot. If it's too dry, it can end up with the opposite effect. So we don't want them bone dry either. So what we do is we literally, with our squeezy, we literally, if you watch that, yeah, this is enough. That is enough. That is all you need. That is the bare minimum. There's nothing there at all.
That feels to me like it'll be dried out before you even shut the
Yeah,
box.
I mean, it literally starts to dry, especially in our room. It starts to dry the minute while we're working. So then what we do then is we get our spider. We might have to have a spider in a catch cup. So right, we'll pretend now because we haven't got a spider to post out. So we will pretend.
Oh, you're going to use a molt.
Yeah.
So ingenious.
We're going to use a molt.
You're a clever boy.
I'm not sure I'm not sure how clever this is actually going to be because
well,
it's we don't right. That's going to be our spider. Because if I use one of these ones, obviously it ain't going to fit in there, is it? Because it's all a bit stiff-legged. Whereas a real one would bend its legs, wouldn't it? Right then, here we are.
oh, no.
Here we are. We've got our sexy Metallica. As you can see, it's a lovely example. Yeah.
Bred in the Beastie Room.
Oh, bit lively. Joyce, great. Right. Be careful with these, don't forget, medically significant. So what we do, we got our spider in our catch cup. Now what we can do, normally, we want it to sit in the pocket in the middle here. So what we would do is we would go down like this, you see, like that. And then we would hopefully walk it out. But if it's being a bit of a nuisance and it doesn't want to leave the box, one of the easiest ways to do it is to literally turn him up like that. This is the idea of using cricket boxes, you see, because they're all the same size. It's perfect. So then what we can do is we can literally pull the lid out like so. We can get our bad-tempered pokey. Get off. You see, look, you don't want to let go. You don't want to let go. We got our pokey there. So we now got our paintbrush. Our pokey can't go anywhere. Look at that. He's stuck there. He can't go anywhere. So he's perfectly safe. So what we're going to do is we're going to tease him into that hole in the bottom. There you go. Yeah.
You got him, babe. You got him.
He's in there. Right. He's now in there, okay? So now we got him in there. What we can do is we've got our lid again. We can slide our lid underneath like that. And we can put that on there like that. Look at that, he can't get out. He's trying, but he can't get out. He can't get out. Right, so what we do then, we wait, because what he's going to do is he's going to try and hide in that little crevice in there. And he's going to try, he'll feel safe then. So what he does,
Hunkers down.
he hunkers down. Right, hunker down. Be a good little spider. Right, our spider is now hunkered down. So we very gently, we take this off. Using the big side, we float it over like that. And then get the other side like that. You notice, see the overlap here? This is the important bit. This is the overlaps there. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
So we get that there, which means when we fold a crease in it, you see how it's doubled up? Yeah?
Yeah.
He is inside an envelope. He can't get out. He cannot get out. Yeah? Bearing in mind, he's hunkered down. So we fold the endies in like that.
Endies.
Endies. Fold the endies in. There you go. That is our fabulous Metallica ready for the post. All we do then is we put a bit of sellotape over each corner, each edge, you know, 4 sides, and then wrap that in bubble wrap, and he is ready to go. And it don't matter now, you know, he gets to the post office and the post comes, throws him over there.
Not ideal, is it, babe?
Perfectly safe. Perfectly safe. He is not going to get damaged inside that box. Right. There you go. How about that? One-on-one on how to box a very lively P Metallica. Right. That is it. That is it. When we do our slings, I suppose we better do that as well, hadn't we?
Well, yeah.
We better do that as well. Okay. Let me find a pot.
Cut your strips now.
Yep. So what we do is now with these, we use the tissue paper again, because we do like our tissue paper. Get our scissors. And then what we do is I cut them.
This is actually a precise measurement that we've handled over the years, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've perfected it.
Yeah, it's about, what is that? It's about 2 inches maybe.
Yeah.
And then all I do is we
it's
take
a Beastie inch.
Yeah, we do this in bulk. So this is literally what we would do is fold loads of these together, and then we would cut them so that we get a lot at once. But we're just doing this one just to show you guys. So we want 2 bits of tissue. Yeah. And then what I do is I leave them on the desk like that. Then with my water, I literally, yeah, that is enough. You can see the water on there, can't you?
Yeah, it's better on this one.
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah.
That is all you need on your bit of tissue. No more. Do not be tempted to soak it. You know, it's literally, the water is literally a token gesture. No more than that. Yeah, just a token gesture. So, we've done them like that. We then get our sling pot.
You folded them in half.
So I fold them in half, and then what I do is I put my finger in the middle, like this, put it in, and then I just literally put it down into the pot like that. Yeah, and then you can go like that. That creates a nice pad in there then. And then we pop our sling in there, and then we get our next bit, and you can see now, because I've left a gap, we do the same thing again, put our finger in the middle, Our sling is down in the bottom. We literally go about halfway, and then all we do then is just fold this over, pop the lid on, and that is our sling, safe and ready to go into the post. Yeah, I always put a bit of sellotape. I know not everybody does, but I prefer just to be safe, so I put a little bit of sellotape over the top and label the pot, whatever it might be, because slings are notorious for, many of them, looking just like one another. So if you've got a number of different slings all coming together but they're different species, make sure you label them so that the poor person that's buying your spider can actually know what the hell they've got. Very important. So that is our slings done. That is our big spiders.
What if you were sending a sturmy?
If we were sending a sturmy, for argument's sake, we would use one of these pots, one of these Braplast tubs. We would use one of these, and we would literally work on exactly the same theory. So to actually, we would literally make it up pretty much the same way. The only difference being, maybe, I suppose we might as well do it now, don't we, while we're here. You just want me to use up all my tissue, don't you? Spare no expense on this channel. No expense. Right. We're going to do it twice because our tub is bigger. Another thing that's really, really good for very large spiders is your margarine tubs. Margarine tubs make brilliant
Ice cream tubs.
Ice cream tubs, yep. They all make really, really good things for posting. So what we do, we would go exactly the same again. Yeah. Go like that. Go that way. And then what we would do is we would also go the other way, you see. So we've gone one way there, and then we would go the other way with that. So now we've got a bit more going on. We should have had that a little bit up more like that. Got caught on there, isn't it? What you're looking for is you want to be able to have a little bit to be able to overlap. And then we'll do the same. So we've gone the opposite way now. So we've got an overlap that way, and we want an overlap this way as well. So then we've got that in there, like so. So that is that there. Now, with these, because they are big, we're going to put a piece on the bottom. These will react and behave exactly the same as the others. So they will just hunker down. Now then, just so happens I've got a sturmy up here.
It's one you made earlier.
There's one I made earlier. Unfortunately, it's not going to fit in here, and I don't want to break it. But as you can see, that is our spider. Now, if this was alive, it would shrink down to half of that because it would crunch up. Yeah? So we would literally...
Even its big bulbous bum.
Oh yeah, its abdomen is the most important thing. With these big spiders, they really, really do need to be packed out nicely. So that is our spider. So we would literally double up on everything. So we've gone, instead of one sheet, we go to 2 sheets, and we get it up. You see, it just makes a bigger ball, that's all. And what we're looking for is to get that in there. And once we got our spider in there, you'll find with these guys, as many of the big spiders, once they're in, if they're being troublesome, just put the lid on top. Yeah, and then with your paintbrush, you can actually just tickle them, and they will hunker down. Once they start to hunker down, you can then fold your sides in. Yeah, so we can get our sides in like that, and we can close them up. Now, if we were doing a big sturmy, for argument's sake, like this one, I would then get another 2 or 3 even. We'll go for 3 squares. Yeah, fold them up like that, put that on there, and then I would literally sit that on top. And then what I would do is I would fold these in like this,
It just makes it a bit more compact.
And what it does is it literally squeezes our spider down. So now when we put our lid on, you see we've done that? It also means that our spider stands less chance of actually getting out, so that when it arrives and you open your box, it should still be inside the tissue. If it's managed to pull itself out and you can now see that spider, it's because it wasn't really fully packed in. So with a big spider like a sturmy, you want to get them fully packed in. So that is that. That's not going anywhere in there. The more compact and tight you can make that spider,
we don't want to squash them though,
stuck in there, the better. No, you don't want to squash him. I mean, a little bit of sensibility is required, you know. Got to be a little bit sensible, but it needs to be firmly in place. Ain't these wonderful? Look at these. Now I tend to keep all the molts. Oh, there's another one. Look at that. Wonderful things, aren't they?
Pointing to us.
He is pointing to you.
No, you're looking at him. That's better. See his eyes, babe.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Marvellous, aren't they?
I'll just come over to this one.
Lovely big things these are. So we keep them and we put them up on the shelves. I do like them. Right then. Well, hopefully we've covered a number of different bits and pieces there, and now you know how we here at the Beastie Room, this is how we pack our spiders. This is how we do it, and this, we've never had issues with this. We've never had any you know, dead on arrival. Occasionally with very small slings you can sometimes have a dead on arrival with very small slings, and this is just it, you know, the chances are if it had stayed on the shelf it might have died anyway. You know, slings are notorious for being up and down, and when you've got a sack of 200 babies, you know, there's a certain percentage of them would never ever have made it in the wild, and this is just natural selection. So sometimes with slings you might open up and you might find that, you know, your sling didn't make it, and it will be through no fault of what the packing was or anything like that. It will just be the fact that that particular sling was never destined to live much longer than what it did. So bear that in mind when you're doing slings. If I think all the suppliers that I know of, if you contact them straight away and show them, photograph your sling and show them, most of them will, you know, either reimburse you or send another one out. We will always do that. If there's ever any issues with anything that goes through the post, we will cover it no matter what. So I think that has just about done it. Very unfortunate thing with the vegans, but you know what, in some ways it's like, you know, it was cool that we've actually filmed this and we've shown that, because it is a side of things, and that is no fault to the person that's actually sent this out. It's no fault of theirs at all. This, you know, this spider is literally just molted out in its pot, and like I say, not all of them are that obvious about that they're actually going to molt. So very unfortunate, but it is one of those things. Right, that is about it. Now we get a lot of stuff come through, from full collections to individual spiders that we buy, different males and things like that. So, you know, this is what keeps us going. This is what keeps our stock levels up in our room as well. So bear in mind, if any of you have got surplus spiders and you're interested in moving them on, drop us a message. We will always buy up all your surplus spiders, or even whole collections. If you're getting out of the hobby for whatever reason, send us a message. You know, we will sort them out, and you can either post them, or quite often, depending on as long on the mileage, quite often we will come and collect them. So yes, if in doubt, always throw us a message. Very much appreciated. Right then, I think that's just about covers all of our spiders. I'm hoping our Metallica is doing well in here. It should be all right. Willing participant. Right then, don't forget, be calm, be gentle, and love your spider. And I'll see you all soon, guys.